Hello, Team Awesome. So I hope you're ready for some awesome, hi Lisa, awesome business etiquette tips for this week's Zoom. I am Deanna Scalf, your upline presidential diamond. I see lots of rock stars on here. Hi, Jana. So what we're going to do tonight is talk a little bit about how you're now in business, so we want our social media accounts to reflect that we are a business person. And I know a lot of people will say, I shouldn't have to change who I am. But depending on who you are portraying yourself to be, we may need to tweak how we are coming across to people just a little bit. And you definitely still want to be yourself and your own person. We talk about copying the right cat all the time, and that's all great, but you want to be your own self as well. But you have to consider that you are in business. There's Cassandra, hello. And you want to act like you're in business. You want to represent yourself like a professional, basically. And not to say that we're all stuffy and suits and ties, because we're certainly not. We're very casual. But there's a few things that you might want to consider. And the first thing that I always ask is, are you someone that you would want to do business with? So, take a look at your social media profiles. And if it's filled with, oh, woe is me, FML, I hate my life, I just don't want to do this anymore, wah, 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 you're probably not somebody that I'm going to want to hang out with. I love filling my feed with positivity. So if you're somebody that is one of those wah, wah, wahs and FMLs, then you're going to get yourself unfollowed by me real fast. I want to be uplifted. I want to be an inspiration to people. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I don't want to be somebody that everybody is constantly feeling sorry for. That's not the kind of attention that I seek. The kind of attention I seek is like-minded individuals who want to massively change their lives and the world around them. So if that's who you want to attract, then you're going to have to be attractive to those kind of people. So we leaders got together and made some notes, and this is in your e-suite, or in your e-suite, geez. We're not quite that big of a deal. This is on our team page in the files for our weekly focus. So I encourage you to print this out and really take these to heart. That one, cleaning up your profile, cussing and nudity and questionable posts. I'm certainly no prude, and I will post things once in a while that I feel like are hilariously funny, but I have a line, and it's pretty clear, that line. Sydney is all over my Facebook. She's 10 years old. I don't want to have to shield her or have her be shielded from what I post. So I try and keep it PG-13 at the very most. Let's see. And I'll just touch on a couple of these tips, and we can open it up, and then we're going to do Q&A for all of us to answer any of your questions. And one thing that we've really learned from John Eric is to be thoughtful. We used to fill our feeds full of before and after pictures. And I got unfollowed by a lot of people that got really tired of seeing all these naked bellies. So I very rarely post stuff like that anymore. Almost everything that I do post, though, will have some connection to it works. Like, you'll see me in my gear, or I'm always in green and black. in the background, you're going to see, like I typically will turn the camera if I'm taking a picture of my office, and you're going to see my giant Blitz card up there. People are getting it subliminally without me having to shove it down their throats. People know exactly what I do. So just be thoughtful and try and connect with people as much as possible. And this is a great one. Post as if you're speaking to a single person that is your friend, that you're not like making everything into a commercial. Keep it positive. If you don't believe this, you're a crazy person. What you think about, what you speak about, what you post about is what you bring about. So if your posts are constantly woe is me, your life is going to constantly be filled with woe is me. If you turn that around, and I saw somebody do this, I'm part of the Miracle Morning group, which is a great group on Facebook. And if you haven't read the Miracle Morning book, it's a fantastic book to read. Somebody had posted, and it wasn't necessarily meant to be a really negative post, but it was. It's like, this bad thing happened and that bad thing happened, and oh my gosh, my life is so hard. And somebody in the thread took that exact post and turned it around and said, my life is awesome. I love my life. I have everything going for me. All these great, good things are happening to me, and use their verbiage, but just switch the negative into a positive, and it changed it completely. And whether that's actually happening or not, it's a great tip to actually make it happen, because I guarantee you do that long enough and the positivity will happen for you. It's okay to be a copycat. You just want to copy the right cat and don't be a plagiarist. Nobody wants you to be Deanna. They want you to be Miranda or Cassandra or Lindsay or Tracy. They want you to be who you are. They don't want you to be a phony and completely take over somebody else's profile. I saw this happen on Instagram once, where somebody copied Jade Hooper's profile. Exactly, like every single picture that Jade had, they posted on their Instagram. There's only one Jade Hooper. You're not going to be successful being Jade Hooper number 2. Be your own self, and certainly borrow and copy anybody's stuff that you see that is appealing to you and you feel is going to be appealing to your audience, but change it up a little bit so it has your voice to it. I steal stuff all the time, but I will switch things around, and I will cut things out, and I will add little things just to make it a little more Deanna flavor. And if you want help with any of this, just ask. If you want any one of us to take a look at your Facebook or your Instagram profile and give you some tips, I would be more than happy to. Constructive criticism, I think, is super helpful. And this is a big one, and this is a little bit of a touchy subject for some people, because people have some very strong opinions about a lot of things. But I like to say opinions are like noses, and everybody's got one. So keep yours to yourself. Bashing boyfriends, girlfriends, spouses publicly is not going to gain you a following. It's going to gain you a whole lot of drama. Consider if a prospect comes across your profile. You're wanting to build your It Works business, and they see you bashing the heck out of somebody. I would be very hesitant to join your team, because what if you get ticked off at me? Whoa. Hello, Tracy. I don't know exactly how that happened. Let's see. No. I don't know if everybody is seeing this. You are? Okay. So whatever you did, Tracy, see if you can undo it. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I would be real hesitant to be a part of somebody's business who publicly trashed other people, because, you know, what if I ticked you off? Are you going to do that same thing to me? Political, religious rants, strong opinions, viewpoints are best kept to one-on-one conversations, not necessarily plastered all over your profile. You know, you're certainly welcome to your views on the political stuff going on, everything that's going on in the world. That's all good and fine, but consider that for every one of us that has an opinion on one side of a subject, there's just as many people that have as strong of a view for the other side. So you can post things like that if you really feel the need. I just think there's a way to do it where it's not offensive. You know, hey, if you don't like Trump, you're an idiot. I would never post that. That's not necessarily my viewpoint. If it was, I would keep that to myself. That's a good way to create a whole lot of drama. And I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in making a whole lot of money. So that, you know, if I have a cause or opinion or something that I want to back, I can do so by putting my money where my mouth is. I don't need to blast it all over Facebook. And again, consider if somebody is, you know, comes across your page and they see that you're this crazy lunatic fan of Trump or Obama or whoever, and they are of an opposing opinion. I'm not going to join your team because I don't agree with your stance. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Poaching is for eggs, not for business. Sadly, this is something that does go on. I run my business as morally and ethically as is humanly possible, and things not to do. If you see someone comment on another distributor's post, you do not speak to that person. They're not your prospect. If, say, Jana posts something and you know, we want to chime in and say, yes, I love Confianza. It's the best thing that ever happened. And Sally Smith gets on there and says, what's Confianza? It's Jana's job to answer her questions. It's not our job to answer her questions, if that makes sense. And it's never okay to private message anyone that's not a prospect of yours. And if you come across somebody, I always ask, especially now that we're doing virtual parties a little bit differently, if there's someone on there and they aren't sure who invited them, I always will private message them, ask who they're working with. I'll typically look at their friends list to see if I can find a distributor on there that may have invited them. If they don't know, which has happened, then I'll ask them, are you working with another distributor? And one gal recently just said, no, she wasn't. And then a few conversations later, she said, oh yeah, I did talk to so-and-so about this. So I referred her back to that girl because that's what I would hope that everybody would do for me. Certainly people can sign with anybody that they want, but I don't want to ever be in the position of being accused of stealing somebody's prospect. If I know that you're working with somebody else, I'm going to send you back to them. Karma is a real thing. Who are you? Facebook is going to be cracking down on the use of monikers, if you will. We will be required to use our legal names as our Facebook profile name. So there won't be any more Deanna Banana. They won't let you do that anymore. You have to show proof of who you are, which honestly, for the most part, I think is a good thing. I know there's some people that don't want to be found, but you can protect yourself in other ways. So it's very confusing to me when you have one name on Facebook and in eSuite you're a completely different name, and I'm not sure who you are. And I want to be able to congratulate everybody. Anyways, that's out of our control. That's a Facebook thing. But if I am on Facebook and perhaps looking for somebody to join with, and I can't tell that you're even a real person, like I just posted on the team page somebody who's a huge scammer, and I highly recommend reporting that profile because he is poaching on It Works distributors and creating all sorts of nonsense. This guy's been at this for the past 3 years. I can't believe that they're still on Facebook when us who do things properly and above board with morals and ethics, you know, we might go to Facebook jail for silly things like adding friends. This moron gets away with all sorts of crap. And the name is not their real name. The picture, I mean, it's a guy running this profile and he's got a woman's picture. He's been sending the same message for the last 3 years. I have an 18-month-old kid and they're getting ready to go to bed, so I have to be real quick, blah, blah, blah. Well, your kid should be like 4 years old now. I personally want to know that I'm working with a real person. I want to know that you look like a normal person and not a serial killer. You know, I don't want to be catfished by somebody. So I encourage you using your real name, your real actual photo. Also, if you have a business page or a fan page, put your picture up there as well, not just a picture of the wraps or whatever. People want to know that they're doing business with a real person. So that's all I have for these notes. Jana or Cassie or Julie, if you guys have anything to add, pop on and do. And any of the rest of you, if you have questions, there is a hand raise option. So if you use that, then we can call on you one at a time so it doesn't get too crazy. Jana, do you have something?
I can't find the hand raise option, so
I don't see it on mine either, but I'm sure it's here. I haven't played around with it too much.
Okay. Well, and I know you touched on like being thoughtful and that kind of thing, but one of the things I see a lot of is somebody only has like a short amount of time in their day to get on Facebook because they work outside the home or whatever. So they'll post 3 advertisements, boom, 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 right in a row. I will literally glaze right over those because, first of all, they're advertising, and we need to, and Deanna, you touched on this a little bit, be more of a product of our products and show that we're using them, not tell people that we're using them. Show them in a picture that you've got this morning I did a picture with my smoothie and I just put, my smoothie's the best or something like that. And then I hashtagged greens and smoothie and ProFit. So that's me actually using our product. Don't just keep posting a picture of the greens. Don't keep just posting a picture of Confianza. Don't keep Cassie did a picture tonight of Confianza in her hand, in her car, driving on her way to Florida or to get to Florida. Anyway, that's her.
Yeah, over the crazy pass. Thank God I wasn't in that car.
Me too. Me too. I don't go out on those icy roads. But that's perfect. That shows she's taking her product. She is a product. It's not advertising, although it's advertising. It's just not advertisey, spammy. And so those are perfect ones. Show that you're using your products. People want to know that you actually are using them and it's not just talk.
Absolutely.
So, and don't post boom, 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 boom. We do the 3-3 rule. What is it? 3 lifestyle, 3 business, 3 inspirational?
Yep.
Yeah. And if you need to, there are a couple different options for posting. There's Postcron and there's Hootsuite that I know of. And I believe Hootsuite lets you post to Instagram now.
Yes, I think they do. I haven't messed around with it, but I believe so.
I haven't either. But
so those are just post schedulers where you guys can set up your posts, like take a day or an hour or whatever, set up a bunch of posts and it'll post throughout the day.
Yeah, you can set the times that they post, the dates that they post, so you're not just posting 3 advertisements right in a row, and people get tired of that, and they glaze right over them. So try and make it yours, and definitely make it that you're a product of the product. Show that you're rapping, show that you're taking your Confianza or your ProFit or whatever. And like Deanna said, it can be in the background. It doesn't have to be, I'm taking my ProFit. You can have it sitting in the background on the shelf in your kitchen or, something like that. So that's what I got.
For sure. Love it. Anybody have questions or anything else you want to add? Not a single question? Heather did. Oh, Lisa,
sorry.
Lisa does. Go ahead, Lisa. And then Heather, I'm going to make you talk. Lisa, you're muted. You have to unmute. There you go.
Better?
Yep.
Woohoo! So I have a question. I don't want to look spammy, so I would seriously love any kind of feedback or kind of criticism that anybody could send to me, so that way I can start to post more thoughtfully, or if you see something that I'm doing on a regular basis where I'm doing too many of the same type of post, please shoot me a private message, but let me know so that way I can get better at it, because I read one of the articles in the 400 Club and it really resonated with trying to be your authentic self and really thinking about how you're posting and what you're posting. So I've really, like today I took a step back because I thought I really have to sit down and think about what am I going to say, and like you said, who do I want to attract? And I also spent a lot of time last night looking at who's been leaving messages like in my feed, and I literally went and like unfollowed a whole bunch of people. So I'm really starting to get more aggressive with what do I want appearing versus just letting everybody in the universe post out there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I never thought about that.
That is really good.
But people can see a lot of what we do. So there are ways to cut down on that, like hiding your friends list from people. And I have my profile set so that nobody can see what pages I like. Yeah. Nobody can see if I like somebody else's post. So those are all in your privacy settings. And I highly recommend that you do like turn those off so people can't, the general population can't see what you're doing, because some of those things that I like are prospects for me. So if I go and like something, I have a lot of followers and they're going to see that I've liked such and such a page. So they might go, ooh, Deanna likes that. I'm going to go like it too. Now I'm sharing all those prospects sort of. So I like to keep a lot of that stuff private. Plus, you know, there's just stuff in my life that's nobody else's business, and I don't need everybody and their brother to know everything about me. So that's a good recommendation, and I'm going to add that to the list of things that we.
How do you set?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, what were you going to say? How do you set?
One other question. How do you set up how do you set up like a business profile? Because if we have to put our name to it, like I'd really like that idea, but I'm trying to figure out how does that work. I just set my GoDaddy account up and I'm trying to put the pieces together so I can kind of drive traffic away from Lisa Angelucci versus Lisa Angelucci, the It Works consultant. So I would prefer to have two separate entities, if that makes any sense.
It does, and that's what we did in the beginning, and I still have that fan page. So, and I think it's still in our files how to set up a fan page, right, Jana?
Okay, I think so.
Yeah,
if it's not, it's on the Skinny Body page, and we can flip over there.
Yeah, it's super simple to do. I mean, I just set up the one for the goats. Similar thing, you just add a little bit more information for your business page, and you're going to want to populate it. That's the place to flood with before and afters. That's where to post your commercials. I integrate both of them. I use that one to gain new friends, because I will pay a little bit for advertising with that page. So it goes out to all sorts of people. Then I'll friend anybody who likes or follows my page. I do, however, then bring them over to my personal page and have them follow my adventure. And I may gain those friends from that fan page, but they join my team because of following me on my personal page. So I want a little bit of a degree of separation, but my personal page is my business page as well, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Miranda.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a question about Instagram again. How are you guys setting up your usernames? Are you using your names or coming up with something catchy?
Mine's Jana's Adventure.
I did have mine. What did I have? I had Skinny Body Wrap Girl, I think, for a long time. I changed it to Fit Girl Adventure. Your name is perfectly fine. Honestly, I don't think that it really matters.
I was trying not to make it overly involved, but yet I did want it to hint around to that connection still.
Yeah, you could, I don't know, Miranda Raps. I don't know. I don't really like having raps in it anymore because it's a little bit of a turnoff to people. It's also a red flag to Instagram that it's a business page.
Yeah.
Miranda's Adventure.
I didn't also know if it should be overly long, short, but I've kind of been playing with a Healthy Body by Miranda.
And you can change it, so it doesn't really matter. Try it out for a while. See if you like it. I like something that's fairly short and sweet and easy to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also when you have reps in your name, it's a red flag for at least me with my followers. I'll block you.
Yeah.
Not personally, but at least I'm like, oh, they're a distributor. Let me see what they have first, and then I'm going to block you.
Yeah, well, it actually helps me. I wish all other distributors except my team would put wraps in their name because then I would know who to block.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right, and I know Heather had a question because she messaged it to me. So, what was your question, Heather?
I didn't have a question.
Well, sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Can you
Because
go over the basic setup of Instagram and maybe give some tips of how to use it so that people can take advantage of it?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm really glad that you brought that up because I think it is a really, really, really valuable tool. And there's somebody on Facebook that I follow, and I'm not going to name any names, but she has a huge following, and she said she doesn't pay for any advertising. And I call BS. And I know for almost a fact that she is using Instagram, or there's another one called River. It's a lot more expensive, does exactly the same thing. You don't need it. But it is such a great way to gain followers and to actually start interacting with your followers without having to be on Instagram 24/7. Miranda, I'm going to have you mute, hon, because it's getting a little feedbacky. So Instagram is a program on your computer. I'm pretty sure it's not an app on any other devices. I think it's only on the computer. And it's Instagress, so INSTAGRESS. And we talked about this a little bit before. You get a 3-day free trial, so you can get on there and play around with it. Here's the one thing that you need to know is when you set it up, in order to set all of your stuff that goes along with it, it has to be in stop mode. So if you've got an Instagram and you're struggling, you need to put it on stop, and then you're able to, and I'm going to jump over there right now, then you are able to choose your things that you want it to do. So on your dashboard, then you will be able to, come on. Seriously, my computer is so incredibly slow. I think I can screen share, can't I? Let me see if I can figure out how to do that real quick, and I will actually show you guys. So, but you're able to set up your hashtags that you want Instagress to search for, your comments that you want to use, because it actually will comment for you, and it's just random. So it could tend to be a touch problematic. You do have to pay attention to your Instagram account because it will end up following just random people, and some of these people are not people that I want to follow. I unfollowed somebody today, and it was a guy, and he got on and he commented, "Why you unfollow me?" So I blocked him because I don't need weird men following me, and I get a lot of
With that
messages
accent.
from men, so they go
Are you
bye-bye
unfollowing?
really fast. Like, that's a sure way to get yourself blocked, is to go ahead and comment on any of my content. Let me see. Here's share screen. Let's see.
That was funny, Cassie.
It just naturally came out as she said it. I was like,
What did I
totally
miss?
hear
I
that guy
missed
saying
it.
it.
You know, follow me.
I know. That's what he said too. Why you no follow me or something like that. Like, you know,
But you said it so well with an accent.
Oh.
okay. So this is my Instagress screen. Why? Let's see. You guys can see this screen, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can.
Okay. So when it's on stop, then you're going to see this big start button. I bought a month for $9.99 just to see what it would do for me in a month. It's gained me already, gosh, hundreds of followers. So, and I don't understand all of this. I'm not an expert on anything. I'm just kind of, blindly making my way through. These are all advanced things that I haven't messed with yet. Here is where I've added my comments. You can add anything you want. I just chose a smile emoticon and a heart emoticon because they're pretty generic. So when it comments for me, people aren't going to go, "Oh, that's weird. This is, a program that's doing this." They might think I'm actually a real person. You can add all sorts of different emojis. You can choose your own comments like nice, cool, that's awesome, whatever you want. I don't have unfollow. I don't use unfollow on here. I do that using Crowdfire, which is another app, which works great for me. You can choose as many tags as you want. I've just randomly chosen all these different hashtags. So some of them by popularity. I Googled popular hashtags and it gave me like the 100 most popular hashtags. So I just grabbed a bunch of them. So Instagress will go through all of the Instagram and it will find some of these hashtags and it will follow some of these people. It will like some of these posts and it will comment on some of these posts for me. I also just added locations. So I added a bunch of Italy locations, some Seattle locations, some UK locations. So now it's also searching out on my behalf anybody that's geotagged any of these locations. You can also have it look up usernames. Blacklist is people that you don't want to follow or don't want to follow you. So like I probably could put rap in here in usernames or blacklist and make sure that it didn't follow those because it will randomly follow other distributors. So I have to go through and remove those. So tell me what questions you have about this and I'll see if I can answer them for you, or does that make sense to everybody? Makes sense? Yeah. If you have any other questions or you want help setting it up, let me know. And honestly, like I said, I'm certainly no expert, but when I was following on my own, it was a constant battle to keep followers. I was having to add 200 or 300 followers a day. It was super time consuming. With this, it is finding followers that are keeping following me. Like they're not following me and then leaving, you know what I mean? So over the last week or so, it has increased my following by, and actually I'm not even sure. I would have to look. I want to say like almost 1,000, maybe. No, maybe not quite that many. Anyways, I've got 10,000. I don't know. I'm just rambling now, but it has increased it by a lot. So any questions about that? Any other questions? You guys can ask anything you want tonight.
It's a free for all.
Free for all. Where are you, Cassandra?
We just passed North Bend, so I don't know how great my service is.
Ah.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I wanted to touch, because Jenna mentioned Hootsuite, and I really like that app. I can do it on my phone. And for their scheduling posts, they actually have timed out different beneficial times for your schedule. So like it'll post for me a couple in the morning, like at 3 in the afternoon, at 9 o'clock at night. I don't have to pick the time or anything because it knows, I guess, the gravity of when social media is, up and down. And they kind of keep track of that. Yeah, and it's free. It's part of the app, so I like it a lot. I think it only lets me post maybe 10 at a time, but that's fine. That covers maybe 2 days worth, at least in Hootsuite. And then if I'm just posting on Facebook randomly, when I'm on Facebook, then that covers a whole lot of posting. But I do think that we have to remember not everybody's awake when we're awake. You have your night shifters that are on Facebook, that their daytime is our nighttime and vice versa. And so it's definitely something to think about when you're posting. And if you have friends in other states, like I've just recently had a lot more friends on the East Coast. So it's kind of weird for me to, think of my post now and it's like, oh man, it's 2 a.m. over there. Nobody's awake, So that's something to think about as well. Instead of just.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about it over, people work night shift all the time and are on Facebook, and then you've got your night owls who are up all night. So yeah, definitely. Thanks, Kathy.
Yeah.
Cassie, what was that called again?
Say again?
Hootsuite.
Oh.
What was that app called?
It's called Hootsuite.
It's Hootsuite.
We can post them on the page. There's Hootsuite and Postcron. And Hootsuite is probably the best for a beginner. And it's easy. I
definitely like it. I used Postcron before, or Postcron, but I have to set up everything. Like it takes me about an hour if I sit down with the tablet or laptop and set up all my pictures for the month. But I do have to pick my times randomly, that kind of stuff in days, whereas Hootsuite kind of just already generates it at a good timing is what they're thinking of.
Yeah,
and the only
awesome
thing you really have to remember too, though, is this is an automated system posting for you. You also want to post yourself because it does stay on there Hootsuite or Postcron when it posts. So if people know what you're doing, they know that you're doing it as automated. So you really want to also post yourself as well, and not just use Postcron or Hootsuite for everything.
Right.
I like Postcron or Hootsuite. I like any of the schedulers. Like if you're working and you're not able to be on Facebook throughout the day or for vacation, because sometimes when I'm on vacation, I like to actually enjoy my vacation. Although I have learned, since we're more thoughtful about our posts and it's not so much about posting commercials and belly pictures all the time, that it's easier for me to integrate my adventure / commercial as I am on vacation. So it doesn't feel like it's work anymore to me where it used to.
Remembering to take the picture when you're doing it. Oh, I should have taken that picture. So.
And the other thing I think would be nice for those scheduling apps would be kind of make your post almost generic, so that, like, say you're posting a picture of summertime or something, make sure it's during the summertime. I don't want to be posting a picture of myself 6 feet in snow and then the next, Hootsuite post something of, hey, I'm at the beach, or something. It's like people are going to wonder what's going on.
Exactly. That just goes right into the thoughtfulness category, I think, because people aren't stupid. They don't want to be sold a commercial. They want to be a part of your adventure. Cassie, you're going to be a fun one to follow over the next couple of weeks. It's already started. I'm glad I'm not in the car with you right now, but I'm going to be wishing I was on the plane with you soon. And you know, there's a whole lot of other people out there that are going to be envious as well. And being able to promote this trip as it's a paycation, first of all, it's a 100% business write-off. And that because of this hobby business, this part-time thing that you're doing, you're able to take your entire family on a trip to freaking Anna Maria Island. If I wasn't already, a part of this, I would want to be, because I would want to do the same thing. And,
Oh, definitely. I think I get more interest when I'm out and about, and it doesn't necessarily need to be on vacation. You could just be out having coffee, or paying a bill. Those simple things. Vacation is nice, and people do perk their ears up and pay attention. Like, whoa, why? What are you doing? Why? I get asked all the time, "Are you not working anymore?" Yeah, I still have a full-time job. Yeah. But this is taking me on vacation, and I'm loving it.
Absolutely, I get it all the time. Oh my gosh, where are you going now? Where'd you just get back from? Where are you on your way to? Like, well, yes. You could be coming with me instead of living vicariously through a computer. You'd actually be doing it in real life.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just bringing people on an adventure with you, I think, is fun, and that kind of goes back to like cleaning up your page if it isn't already. There are some people that I follow that aren't in It Works. I follow them because they're so inspirational, and it just makes me happy to be a part of their life, sort of. I don't watch the news because it's so stinking depressing. If I see something on Facebook like this poor beaten dog, and like the duct tape dog, you couldn't help but see that because it was everywhere. I will unfollow you so fast. I don't like to see things like that. I certainly want to be more of a charitable person, and I want to pick some worthy causes to help, but I don't need crap like that in my face constantly. It's just depressing, and it hurts my heart, and seeing it over and over and over just isn't good for me. It is exhausting. And I don't know.
I have somebody that would always post something like that. Somebody was sick, something, and you feel bad at first, but then it's like, okay, what's the deal? Like, I got to turn off your news feed or something because you're exhausting me.
Exactly. And I watch TV in my bedroom, and it's, the last thing I do before I go to sleep. And I don't want my mind filled with horrors and tragedies, and that's all the news is anymore. And I don't need to go to sleep thinking about crap like that. So I usually watch Fallon and go to bed laughing or go to sleep laughing. So, whatever works for you, but just be aware that
that's the best dreams.
Exactly. That people are paying attention.
I just got a message about what were those pills that you took.
Yay! That's awesome. I love it. Anybody else have any questions, comments? Nothing? All right, well, we did our 45 minutes, so I think hopefully you guys get a lot out of this. I was chatting with Rhonda earlier today, and I'm going to get her to be on one of our Zooms here in the next couple of weeks, which will be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be really good. Yes.
See, next Zoom will be pizza party night. So we'll be doing our Zoom from Anna Maria. Yeah. We'll be at the beach. All right, kids. So if you have any questions or anything that you want help with, Lisa, I will take a look at your profile and give you some tips. But go ahead and post any questions you might have on the team page. I can't remember what we were going to talk about next week.
Okay.
Our why, I think. Was that next week, Jana? I think it may have.
I
I don't remember.
have to look. Yeah, I will do. It was whichever one I was doing.
Yeah, I think it's why. Your why. So
It's
Am I doing
why.
your one? I thought Cassie was doing the one.
I think I had posting, but I think we were starting the new month with the new Y, or at least
Yes.
expanding on that.
yep, I
You
think so.
changed yours, Janet, to do
I
why.
guess that would be me then.
So that'll be a good one. So be considering over, the next week what your why is. Why are you doing this business? We'll talk about the importance of digging deep and finding that why, and understanding that it's going to change probably multiple times as your adventure continues. So
Always.
have a great night, everybody. Cassandra, safe travels. Everybody else that's heading to Florida, be safe. I'll see some of you for coffee tomorrow. And until next time, peace out.